If they go to texasfootball.com/projections, texasfootball.com/projections, you will have our good friend and colleague Matt Stepp's playoff projections for each of the brackets across the UIL. From 6A down to 2A, I will admit that he cannot be held responsible for the 1A brackets. Those are my responsibility. Mm-hmm. So do not, if you have a problem with the 1A bracket, talk to me. Don't talk to Matt. But we have projections for every bracket in the state. And they're starting to take shape. We mentioned this on the show yesterday, but it seems like, and we talked with Matt Stepp after the show, and he tended to agree, it seemed like there are fewer games of like real holy cow in or out consequence.
Right.
There are a few.
Right. The stakes aren't quite as high as they have been in previous years.
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely.
There are it's a lot more. For example, I was putting together the games for Fox Football Friday, 8 to 11 p.m. Fox Sports Southwest on Friday night.
Shameless plug.
And I was noting, I was going through, and I'm like, oh, that's a really good game. Oh, I'm really excited about like Shiner and Merfurio.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Like, there's games down in the Houston area that are really good. I'm interested to see if Galena Park North Shore can, or not Galena Park North Shore, but rather what does Richmond George Ranch do against Elif Taylor?
Right.
Stuff like that. But overall, I start looking at it, I'm like, okay, well, these are for like maybe a little bit of seeding here or there.
Right.
But there's not these huge, like there's a disconnect now between the games that are going to be, in our opinion, the best games of the week and the games that actually matter.
Right.
And a perfect example, Thursday night, San Antonio Brennan taking on San Antonio O'Connor. Mm-hmm. This is for the District 28 6A championship. And that's awesome. And a district championship is really, really important, okay? But for the playoffs, it has literally, it has literally no impact.
Yeah.
Because O'Connor's going to Division 1 and Brennan's going to Division 2, and they don't matter. It doesn't matter who wins that game. So that's kind of something that's interesting that makes our Texas High School football playoff projections at texasfootball.com/projections so interesting, is that now a lot of this cake is baked.
Yeah.
A lot of it. Now there's going to be some movement, but not a major shift.
Right.
So if you take a look at them, and I was rolling through this last night, I'm always on the lookout for regions that are going to be particularly interesting because there's always a couple. For example, Region 1 of 6A Division 1 just got more interesting now that San Angelo Central is going to be there.
Right.
Otherwise, I was looking at that, and I'll be entirely honest, I was looking at that and saying, well, that's Allen's to lose.
Right.
Like, they're the big bully on the block there. They're going to be that. Now San Angelo Central gets in there. We've gone on and on and on about Region 3 of 6A Division 1. And we now have a good look at what it's going to look like. And here's what we're dealing with. Cy Ranch, probably going to finish the year unbeaten.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Katy, I don't know if you've heard of them. Galena Park North Shore.
This region's ridiculous.
Defending champs.
Yeah.
You will have Dickinson and Elif Taylor playing
the first round.
each other.
First round.
In the first round.
Ugh.
And the winner of that gets Galena Park North Shore.
Ugh.
You have Cy-Fair playing Houston Lamar. I don't know if you've heard of those two teams.
Pretty good.
You've got Fort Bend Ridgepoint, who is very quietly having an excellent year.
Yeah.
You have Atascocita and Deer Park, two explosive offenses.
Very good teams with good players, yes.
And then you have Pearland and Clear Springs, who are two teams that I think are flying under the radar.
Yeah.
That is a ridiculous region. Ridiculous region.
Yeah. Whoever emerges from that will just, they'll be beasts.
And then if you look at 6A Division 1, if you go to Region 4, it's really interesting to see what could be. First of all, there's a couple of great matchups, including Judson and O'Connor is locked in. That is happening. Conference Judson in San Antonio O'Connor is happening in the first round. But then you've got a couple of really interesting potential second-round matchups, including Lake Travis and Smithson Valley. Mm-hmm. And you want to talk about a team that's been at the top all year long in Lake Travis,
right? And
maybe the hottest team in the state, in Smithson Valley.
Right. Good timing.
Could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I was also taking a look in the 5A ranking, or projections. TexasFootball.com/projections is where you can find it. I'm very interested to see what all shakes out in Region 2 of 5A Division 1, okay? Because there are a couple of kind of blue bloods in there. I think Highland Park will enter with a lot of expectations. They are probably going to be the team that everybody looks at and says they're the team to beat.
Right.
But there's also a lot of unknowns.
Yeah.
Waxahachie and Mansfield Lake Ridge will play on Friday night, and the winner is in, the loser's out.
Yeah.
Okay, that is happening. And I think the winner of that game has a really good shot of making a deep run.
Yeah, look, both teams are loaded with playmakers, especially Waxahachie, and if they play to their potential on any given night, I think they can beat just about anybody.
Can I interest you in if you want to talk about two potential spoilers here, you have a first-round matchup of Cleburne and Mansfield Legacy. Mansfield Legacy's been hotter than a firecracker this year. They've had a great year, the kind of forgotten team in Mansfield ISD.
For sure.
And then there's Cleburne.
Yeah.
And Cleburne
Can put up points.
They got Trevon Bradley. Yeah. And if sometimes in the playoffs, all you need is that dude.
Yeah.
And they've got that dude.
Yeah.
And may I also mention, just second-round matchup potentially. They both got to get there. Highland Park and Frisco Independence. Okay?
Ooh, yeah.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah.
Highland Park.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a team that that cuts the brakes on their offense.
Yeah.
It's Frisco
Independence. Yeah.
And then I tweeted this last night. 3A Division I Region 3 is the best small school region in 11-man in the state. Okay? Malakoff,
So good.
Cold Spring Oakhurst,
Good Lord.
Rockdale,
Jeez.
Lamarck, Buna,
Ugh.
Woodville,
Yep.
Cameron-Yo,
Yep.
Hitchcock,
Yep.
and then Franklin and Teague are playing each other in the first round.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
That's a loaded region.
That again, that is on par with that Region 3 and 6A.
And then
that's brutal.
And then on our six-man, I know that I understand that six-man football fans are an inherently small group. I understand that, but I do want to talk to my people right now.
Okay.
If you haven't noticed exactly what's going on in Region 2 of 1A Division 1, it's silly, okay? Borden County's playing Sterling City in the first round, and that is those are two state-ranked teams.
Yep.
Ira and Garden City are playing on the other side of that region. Those are two state-ranked teams. Not to mention teams like Buena Vista and Water Valley, who's got a great tradition themselves. Maybe Marfa gets hot. I am telling you, Region 2 in Class 1A Division 1 is going to be ridiculous. TexasFootball.com/projections is where you can find it. We have projected every single bracket from 6A down to 6-man. You want to make sure you check it out.